Star Wars has been so disappointing over the past few years. Yes, there's been a project here and there that have been good, but overall, it's just been bad product after bad product. And Andor recently released, it had zero hype behind it, and even though it's got good review scores online, no one is watching the show. I have a bunch of things to show off, but before we get into the topic at hand, if you enjoy the content that I create, please make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell. Follow me on social media like Twitter or mine so that you can see when my content is posted. And of course, if you do really enjoy the videos and the live streams that I create, please consider becoming a Dark Titan via Patreon for just $1 a month, or support the channel via YouTube memberships. All of the links are in the description, and of course, I do really appreciate all of the support. So this is a Cosmic Book News article. It says Star Wars Andor ratings in the gutter worse than Boba Fett. An audience trending chart reveals that Andor is at the bottom. I know that I personally had no excitement for this show. Going into it, I didn't expect much, and as the weeks go on, the hype has become less and less, but there wasn't really a lot of hype at the very beginning of the show when it launched. A lot of people are just kind of over Star Wars at this point. When you put out so many bad products, eventually consumers are going to give up on your brand and your franchises, and that's what's happened with Star Wars. It says, according to new analytics data, the ratings for the Star Wars series Andor on Disney Plus look to be in the gutter and are much worse than that of Boba Fett. While Disney never released specific numbers, which should tell you everything, and Samba TV has even stopped reporting data for some reason since it last reported numbers for the Rings of Power, Parrot Analytics has released a chart of audience demand where Andor is at the very bottom. It is very suspicious that for some reason Samba TV stopped reporting data halfway through the series release. I do think that that is pretty freaking suspicious, but it says Parrot Analytics describes itself as the leading global audience demand analytics across TV, movies, and talent. Brandon Katz, an industry strategist at Parrot Analytics, who has also written for The Wrap and The Observer, posted a daily demand chart on Twitter that charts The Mandalorian Season 1 and 2, The Book of Boba Fett Season 1, and the first season episodes to date of Andor. It says the most disappointing trend I've come across recently is how the audience demand for Andor is overwhelmingly lower than The Mandalorian Season 1 and 2, The Book of Boba Fett, and Obi-Wan. And there was a lot of hype around these shows, minus Boba Fett. I feel like The Book of Boba Fett people were very mixed on from the very beginning. We were very afraid that they were going to ruin this character, and I definitely think they didn't go in the direction consumers wanted, but The Mandalorian Season 1 and 2 had massive hype around them, and Obi-Wan did as well. I know that I personally was really excited for Obi-Wan, and I was very disappointed with the product that we got, but there again has been like zero hype around Andor. I just didn't want to watch this. I just felt like, you know what? There's better shows out there. I mean, right now there is House of the Dragon. There was also Rings of Power, which of course was very disappointing and underwhelming as well, but that was still airing. So there was just a lot of shows coming out that were more hyped up than Andor. I mean, even the Rings of Power, which had a lot of negative reception, still had more hype behind it. It says, I was actually hoping we would get data from Samba TV about Andor as Lucasfilm released the first 3 episodes on the same day. I'm betting that similar to Marvel's Hawkeye seeing a huge 200k drop from episode 1 to 2, which was released on the same day, that Andor would also see a huge drop in its first 3 episodes. And this is speculation, but of course, you know, we kind of see all of these trends. We see how consumers act, and we know the number drops at this point. Show after show after show go through this. It says, again, Samba TV has stopped reporting the number of households that watch various shows for some reason. Now we only have the Parrot Analytics chart to measure things. It says we also have the Nielsen ratings, but they are weeks behind. But the first 3 episodes of Andor should be reported by Nielsen at the end of the week. And as you can see, the week of September 19th to 25th, Andor was only number 6 when it comes to this rating for number of minutes watched for the week. It was behind Dahmer, Cobra Kai, Rings of Power, Fate the Winx Saga, and one other show about El Rey Vince Fernandez. And then, of course, we have Andor. Now, that doesn't look very good because, of course, they hope this show is going to do good. It seems like it's not doing as well as they expected, but that's really no surprise when it comes to Star Wars. Again, I think that people are pretty burnt out with Star Wars, primarily because we have gotten bad content for so long. Yes, again, there's been a small project here, a small project there that we've liked, like The Mandalorian, but going into season 3, people are pretty upset because of the whole Gina Carano situation, and I think they're going to see a massive drop in viewers when it comes to season 1 and 2 versus season 3. I just feel like Star Wars has been going in a very bad direction for years and years at this point. Of course, ever since Disney acquired Star Wars and Lucasfilm, but Lucasfilm is going through a bit of a change right now as well because they just lost their SVP for some reason, of course, that we don't know. There is a disturbance in the force as Michelle, the senior vice president of live action development and production at Lucasfilm, has stepped down from her position. She was named the SVP of Lucasfilm only 3 years ago, where she oversaw all theatrical and direct-to-consumer live action content and was responsible for identifying and delivering future projects for Lucasfilm. Of course, we saw her develop and produce The Rise of Skywalker, Obi-Wan Kenobi, Andor, and also Willow. So they just lost this individual. Maybe that means that we'll get someone better in this position as the president of live action development and production. Maybe someone who will actually listen to consumers and who will understand what consumers want. But I do not want to put any faith in Lucasfilm at this point because, of course, over the years, they've done such a terrible job. As it says, there hasn't been anybody named as a replacement so far, so of course Kennedy is still calling the shots, and there's no movies in development, and there's only a couple of shows in development at this point that she would have been leading, like The Mandalorian Season 3, Ahsoka, and The Acolyte. I have loved Star Wars for so many years, and I just want the franchise to be better. I want Lucasfilm to start listening to consumers and giving us the content we want, but I don't have a lot of faith in them at this point. Maybe they'll change eventually, but right now they are getting slammed because all of their shows that are releasing are being ratioed and are not being watched, and the ratings have all been in the gutter. But that's all that I really had to discuss in this video. Let everyone know your thoughts in the comment section down below. If you enjoyed it, please make sure to give it a like, share it, and subscribe to the channel. And of course, if you didn't, make sure to give it a dislike. I appreciate your support either way, but I will talk to you all again in the next video really soon.